Welcome to Adobe Illustrator. For those who are new to this altogether, welcome. To those who are used to working with the Illustrator on the desktop, welcome. There are going to be some similarities that you have from one to the other, but I'm going to treat it as if we haven't really worked with some things before, because I'm using this in some other classes as well. So, welcome to Illustrator, and we're going to get started by clicking the Create New button in the bottom left. So, here is our setup for a new file. Most of the things that we're going to work with will be printed, so making sure that the print menu is selected. Over in the units of measurements, you will see that there are opportunities for inches, and we're going to choose inches as our selection of size. You can orient your paper vertically in a portrait format or in a landscape version, the horizontal. I'm going to set mine to horizontal at the moment. All right. And down below, you'll see the color mode is set for CMYK, and that's when you're working to print something out with specific inks. RGB is if you're creating something merely to be viewed only on a screen. So we're going to choose and always make sure that CMYK is chosen. You're welcome to give a title to this file. This is just a sample one for right now, so I'm not going to create an actual title for it at the moment, but you'll be given instructions and suggestions on what to title your work. Okay, going to create file now. All right, so here's our workspace. On the left-hand side, we have the selection tool. It's a little arrow here at the top. And when we draw any object, we'll select a tool with that sometimes, and we will also select our objects that we've drawn. Speaking of drawing objects, down here you see a square tool or a rectangle tool, but the longer I hold, you can also see that it could make a circle or an ellipse or a triangle or a star. All right. Moving down further, we have a white circle right here. All right, and that white circle, if I tap on it, will open up a color grid or color picker. It has currently a setting of white right now. We can choose not to have any color if we want, or we can choose from any number of colors around this color wheel. All right, and notice as I move this color around, the color in the box here changes, right? So I could choose and move this little guy over here and say, oh, I'd love to have orange. Well, this little top right corner of the box would be the pure orange. If I selected any orange going to the left, see how it's getting lighter. It's what we call a tint. If I go down, that orange is getting darker, almost brown to black. If we go diagonally, the orange starts to get gray. So this allows us to choose what flavors we want to work with in our project. So I'm currently working with a color to fill my object or fill our shape with when we draw it. All right, I'm going to choose this bright green here, and we're going to do the same thing down here for this little round ring. This round ring means the outline stroke of our object that we're drawing. It can stay black, which is its default, or we can kind of scroll around the color wheel here, and I'm going to choose some kind of a blue color. So now I'm going to end up having an object that will be green with a blue outline. If I hit the swap arrows, it'll reverse that. So that's a quick little short tutorial there. Now that we have our square selected, let's draw one. So I'm going to click and drag. And you can notice here that it's showing you the width and the height in inches as I draw, right? Another little shortcut, what if I didn't want a rectangle, but I wanted truly a square, a perfect square? There's a circle down here in the bottom left-hand corner. All right, this is considered an alternate button. For those who have worked on the computer, it's like your Alt key. So as I click and drag to make a square, I hold down that button with my left hand finger or my opposite finger that's not doing the drawing, and you can see this magenta line going diagonally through. And it's showing us several things. That diagonal means that this is going to stay a perfect square no matter how large or how small I make it while my finger is on that circle. It also tells you at the top of this design page that this shape is locked, it's constrained. And you can even see by the measurement, look at that, 3.11, 3.11 for height and width, or 12 there. So when I let go, it remains a perfect square. For the outline stroke, you'll see that in the bottom here below the actual selected object, there are options. This one right here allows me to adjust the stroke width. So I can click on that and then just glide left and right and left and right and decide how fat or how skinny I want my outline stroke to be. All right. I'm now going to use this selection tool to select the other square. In this one now, I'm going to look at the little square on top of a plus square. That means I'm going to make a duplicate or a copy. So I'm going to tap on that, and notice how it says duplicated at the top of my page. I can now grab the duplicate and move it away with my finger. I can do another one and then move another one. Just like on our computer, every time I draw a new one, it stacks on top of the previous one. You can see here. So let me do another duplicate, and there it is. All right, if I wanted to make a dupe of this, I could click on that guy and I can duplicate, and he's on top. All right, I can easily delete anything after I've selected it by using the trash can. I could lock an object if I don't want to accidentally harm it or do something silly to it, so it won't let me move it. See how it won't let me touch it? All right, until I hit the little unlock, and then now it will let me move and adjust it. So it has a built-in safety feature. Another unique thing is that whatever object is selected, let me select this broad one here, there is a stack of little papers here, and this means I can change the stacking order of my object. I can move that to the back, I can move it to the front, I can move it to the back, I can move it to the front. So I can change the order of how the objects are stacked by the little stacked papers. So those are some handy tools that come underneath every object as we work with them. One last opportunity is for opacity, to be able to see through an object to another object. That's this far left, all right? And so if I reduce the solidness of this shape, I can now see through to the object below. So that is it for this first tutorial. Basic things such as the selection tool, the shape tool, the color picker, the outline stroke, and all of the editing materials underneath a given selected shape.